Bienvenue and welcome to the 29th edition of Eurosatory, Europe's premier defence and security show with more than 50,000 visitors and 2,500 companies this week. My name is Andrew White. I'm part of the Eurosatory news team, and this week we will be bringing together government leaders, industry and service leaders to discuss everything defence and security in Paris. So let's get started. I'm happy to announce I'm joined this afternoon by the JUNGHANS Defence team. JUNGHANS is the defence fuse specialist, co-owned by DIEHL and THALES. So we have Chief Technology Officer Benjamin CAMPION, and to my left, Simon Schmutz, Product and Programme Management Head of. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Welcome. Benjamin, if I could start, JUNGHANS is recognised as a long-standing specialist in fuse technology for a wide range of munitions. Could you introduce the company, its core mission today, and how it fits into the wider DIEHL-THALES ecosystem, please?
Of course. Yes, so as you mentioned, JUNGHANS is a specialist in fusing, so fusing for any kind of ammunition, and we are used to say that we are the fuse manufacturer. We are doing fuses for any kind of ammunition, and the fuse is really something that is the most important to any ammunition. You cannot have a good munition if it does not have a good fuse. So that's what we are really doing. We are in, as you mentioned, a joint venture between THALES and DIEHL. So the good thing is that we can take benefit of the best of the two companies when it comes to structure, resources. Resources, I mean, it can be human resources, but also technology. We can use the market footprint of both companies, so that's very important. One thing is also that DIEHL and THALES, so they are our shareholders, so we can provide them with very good solutions, but by essence, JUNGHANS is known as being a fuse supplier to any ammunition providers. So that's what we have always done, providing fuses to all the ammunition manufacturers. So that's what we have done, and that's what we will continue to do.
Thank you, Benjamin. What are the most significant innovations you're showcasing this week, and how do they respond to the operational demands of your customers?
Okay. So basically, when you look at what happens on the different stands, you can see that there is a lot of autonomous guided munitions, autonomous one-way effector, loitering munitions. So what does it mean for the fuse manufacturer? It means that we need to provide solutions which are safe, flexible, producible in big quantities. And so in that specific field, we are showcasing today the CSAM, so because the market is asking for standardization in that kind of product. So CSAM stands for Standardized Electronic Safe and Arm Module, which is a completely electronic safe and arm device dedicated to the use of that kind of ammunition. On the opposite side of the shield, you have the drones and the OVE, but then as a fuse manufacturer, we also work on the counter-UAS solutions. When we say counter-UAS solutions, that's where we can bring solution to make interception of that kind of threat, and using all the experience we have in a proximity fuses, because we come from the proximity fuse also world, and we have a special family of fuses which are the Freeman fuses dedicated to naval application and interception, and we are adapting, miniaturizing, using the signal processing, which is really at the core of such a performances, to be adapted to different sensors for this ammunition. We also see a trend, which is to go for more demanding, I would say, missile, and we are entering the hypersonic era. So what does it mean when we say hypersonic era? It means that we have to cope with higher speeds, thermal constraints, higher resistance to penetration and to shocks resistance, and we can use our background in missiles and bomb technologies for that. we also see that there is a renewal for something that was completely forgotten, which is the anti-tank mine. And we can see that there is now a revival of that kind of technology and products. So the mining systems requires very low consumption electronics, very flexible, very safe, longer duration of use, and also flexibility and safety management. So that's also something that we can really see as something new in this domain. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Benjamin. Simon, you serve many programs globally. How does your product and program management processes ensure reliability, timely delivery while adapting to very diverse and rapidly evolving customer requirements?
I would like to have a look at that question from two different perspectives. Well, what is essential for both is to have a really close customer relationship, so to understand the real needs and the market trends. So from the first perspective, more focusing on serial deliveries, what is essential is the high volume and short delivery times. What we did directly after the conflict started 4 years ago, we started working scenarios. So we came up with different scenarios for each product line and created, I would say, best case, worst case, most likely case for us, and that's what we prioritized. Well, in addition, we also worked on some actions for the others as well. So that means in a short iteration circle, we were able to adapt our strategy to the real needs on the market. That also meant that we started directly with upscaling. We were not waiting for all the customer contracts to be in place. And that allowed us to find solutions for nearly every customer regard of delivery time. So we still have quite short delivery times. In addition, from the second perspective, what we can say, if we have more perspective in regard of the product itself, what changed the requirements, well, for the single fuses like mortar artillery, not so much changed. Of course, the electronic warfare is getting more and more important, but what is kind of lessons learned we really took from the conflict from Ukraine is the interoperability and modularity, which is really of essence. Well, there, I would say, a big advantage of our mortar artillery fuses comes to take place, as they are interoperable for all relevant ammunitions and weapon systems within the NATO. So the same speaks for the SESAM, which has a standardized interface. For the other topics, like other products like proc sensors and missile SIDs, we focus on the modularity aspect. So that means that we can always use standard modules and just need to slightly adapt them to meet the customer requirements, and without big effort or qualification. And that really leads to the fact that we are high volume producer and short delivery times, and also can support with the new products on a really short time to market aspect.
Excellent. Thank you, Simon. Cooperation is obviously hugely important across the international armed forces community. Can you share any recent example of international cooperation which can demonstrate how you support customers in terms of capability?
Yes, I absolutely share the perspective that corporations are getting more and more important. But for us, it's not only, I would say, a new topic. It was always a key point in our business philosophy. Why? It's quite simple. Our fuses are working in a very harsh and demanding environment and must meet all and the highest safety and reliability standards, as well as deliver performance. Achieving this is only possible if you have really close relationships to both your customer and your partner. And for us, like a corporation, it's not only a short-term commercial arrangement, it's more a strategic commitment which should create added value for all involved parties. Well, our main driver is more like three topics. The first is joint forces challenges for increasing productions, to upscaling volumes, because sometimes you are limited in resources, in space, in other parts which you need to purchase. That's of course one very essential point. Second is of course the R&D. If we join forces with other companies which have same capabilities, like technologies, resources, and experience, we were able to really shorten time to market and accelerate innovation circles. And that's just, I would say, one of many examples we had in the past or in the last weeks and months that we joined forces on a special product line to create a product with our common capabilities to be short, with a short time to market, more competitive and quite advanced product. The third topic is also our experience. Well, we have quite a lot of experience, of decades of experience as a company in fusing, which means in developing fuses, qualification of fuses, and also in the very high standards of safety and reliability. So that we can offer for established players, also to newcomers, to create added value for them, because it's quite a challenging environment with the fuse and the safety and reliability, and that offers like fast time to market solutions, but still meeting the highest safety and reliability criteria which the customer knows from us. And I think all these topics together show that from our perspective it's really important cooperations and doing more in regard of cooperation to meet the really increasing customer demands.
Perfect. Thank you, Simon. Benjamin, to wrap up, as we look beyond this edition of Eurosatory, what are the critical developments that JUNGHANS Defence is focused on in the future?
Okay, I will turn it on what are the challenges we have to face. The challenges we have to face is mass production of things. So it means that we need to have production capability, but we also have to resources, trained resources, and be innovative. So it goes with, of course, internal training, find the right people for the right job, but it also goes with more relationship with universities, in the, I would say, research agencies and things like that. The big challenge we have to face also is the time to market, as mentioned by Simon, and we need to develop things very rapidly. So we are using, and we cannot afford not to look at it, the benefit of using AI in our development to be faster. Of course, we will use that kind of capabilities in order to be able to make what is needed. And what is needed is suddenly something that happens also, is we are entering in the product which is good enough. And that's really, to me, one of the trends that we have to follow. We are used to make developments with a very, I would say, very detailed, and now we have to be fast on the market with a product that suits the user, fast enough in development so that it's good enough. And it's a challenge for the industry, but also a challenge for the customer and for all the entire ecosystem. So that's really something. So I mentioned AI. What is sure is that for JUNGHANS, we will never make any compromise when it comes to safety, because that's what we are recognized for, and that's what we will continue to do for the next years.
Perfect. Benjamin, Simon, thank you for your time, and I hope you have an excellent show.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.